It is Thursday night. Welcome to the night shift. And what kind of days are we living in right now? Isn't that amazing? The whole world is moving, but what you may not know is that power is also moving. And here in just a little bit, I'm gonna be giving you a word that came to me some years ago, because things don't always stay the same, especially when it's time for power to move, when it's time for atmospheres to shift, when it's time for lives to be redirected. And we are in those moments right here and right now. And I'm so glad to come to you today. This is what I would say to you. If you can, hit the share button so that all of your friends know that something is coming your way and have something to say to you. Thank you so much for joining with us. I want to give a big shout out to all of our faithful friends, faithful members, all of you that are pushing on through. We have some things that are coming up that you need to know about. As a matter of fact, our Every Man weekend is coming up very quickly. And year after year, thousands of guys would gather right here in this building, and we would strengthen the role and the place of men in our society. So this year it's going to be virtual. It's going to be virtual. You're going to hear from a lot of great people. I'll tell you more about it later, but what I'd like for you to do is to hit your share button. I'd like for you to call somebody, text somebody, and tell them it's Thursday night. Everything is all right. Ain't nobody mad, sad, or looking bad, but the devil. It's a bad day to be the devil, because a lot of us are stirred up in a good way, stirred up and determined that the future generations will not have to face the same battles that we are facing, because we're going to make a difference in it. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And if it's good with you, I just want to thank all of you who have been consistent, faithful, sowing into this house that has made such a difference for 35 years in our community. And I know that some people are a little late to the party. You know, some people are just now talking, and to some people it's a photo op, and to some people it's like it's a culturally cool thing to do. But right here, we've been standing for 35 years, and we're not changing our message, and we're not taking it back. We're not taking it back. We're going to stand right here on it. We love you. We thank God for you, whoever you are and however you are and wherever you are. We thank God for you. So I'm going to ask you, if you can, right here at the beginning, just take a moment. We're going to have a couple really good songs. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And but what I want you to do is, if you can, right here, text your giving. Use your app to give. Those of you that like to write out checks, get your envelope out. This is your moment. This is your time. And let's keep sowing and keep giving. And I want to tell you that God is faithful. God is faithful. Whatsoever man sows, that's how he also reap. It's going to come back to you. I promise you. I have testimonies to tell you, but that's going to be at another time. All right. Now listen, we got 2 songs coming right here. And then I'm going to come back and talk to you about how power moves and how power is moving in your favor. You know, the word for peace is the word shalom. Shalom is a dual meaning. It means nothing is missing. Everything I need is present. Catch that right there. Everything I need is present, but the other side of that means everything that is hindering is being moved away. That's what shalom is. That's what peace is. Everything I need is present. Everything hindering me is going away. So we declare that over your life today. Peace is coming in your direction, and power is moving in your favor. And I'm coming right back to talk to you about that right after this.
Why can't we all Get the picture, sisters and brothers of every color. When this collage comes together, we are stronger in the name of love. In the name of love, we are stronger. In the name of love.
Unity across the ocean, you and me, his creation. Everybody join the mission. Let's get started now. We can drink from the fountain, sing and dance on the mountain. Now's the time, stand together. Even though we're different, we're the same. Why can't we all
Get the picture, sisters and brothers, every color. When this collage comes together, we are stronger in the name of love.
Build a bridge to inspire peace to all who desire, bringing down walls of injustice for conquered. Let's get started now.
Oh, we can change if we're open, heal the hurt and the broken. We are a part of a plan with a purpose. Even though we're different, we're the same.
Why can't we all
All get the picture, sisters and brothers, every color. When this collage comes together, we are stronger in the name of love. Oh, 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 oh.
in the name of love?
In the name of love. Oh, 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 oh,
In the name of love.
in the name of love. Come on, everybody everywhere, help us declare this together. See, yeah, 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 yeah. We lift it up together. See, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, yes. Come on, one more time, declare. Say yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Why can't we all? Why can't we all get the picture? Sisters and brothers of every color. When this collage comes together, we are stronger in the name of love. Why can't we all? Why can't we all get the picture? Sisters and brothers of every color. When this collage comes together, here we go. We are stronger in the name of love. We are stronger. Yeah.
'Cause faith can move a mountain,
Yeah.
it can calm the raging sea, and you can open any door if you purpose to believe. Yes,
You can change tomorrow out of dreams. We can change tomorrow. We can build a brand new world where children grow and a river flows. It starts with you and me. We can change tomorrow. We can have a brand new start with faith, the key to harmony, and the power's in your heart.
Faith can build a mountain, become a raging sea, and you can open any door if you purpose to believe.
You can change tomorrow if you only start today to rise above the obstacles that are standing in your way.
It's as simple as it seems. When you leave your doubts behind, you build tomorrow and build tomorrow out of dreams. We can change tomorrow. We can build a brand new world where children grow and the river flows. It starts with you and me. We can change tomorrow. We can have a brand new start with faith, the key to harmony, and the power in our hearts. We can change tomorrow. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can change tomorrow. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can change tomorrow. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can change tomorrow. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can change tomorrow.
Tomorrow is changed because we have dreams. We can change tomorrow, but we have to start today. Martin Luther King's famous speech, it was a shifting moment, the March on Washington. Everyone remembers him saying, I have a dream. I have a dream. And you think about how those words and those moments shaped and shifted time. I want you to know that you are in a shifting moment. And I want you to hear that. Please hear that. You are in a shifting moment. Things are moving. Things are shifting. Watch this. Power is not static. Power is dynamic. It moves. It moves in moments. It moves with people. It moves with faith. It moves with atmosphere. It moves with climate. It moves with music. It moves with art. It moves with voices. It moves with people. God moves in our moving. Wherever there is faith, there is movement. Pick up your bed and walk. March around that wall and shout till it comes down. Throw that rock at that giant. Tie a red rope in the window. Dig a ditch in the midst of a valley. Whew. Wherever there is movement, wherever there is faith and movement, God moves in our moving. Get out of the boat. Walk on the water. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? Do you not know that we are in shifting moments? We've been locked down. The world is under pandemic situations. We have tension in the air, but we are called into these moments. We are called. Hey, you are called into this moment. You have been brought to the kingdom for such a time as this. It's not just a time of hurt and pain. It's a time of attention. paying attention? Can you hear it? Can you hear the sound? Can you see it? Do you believe that mountains can move? Because power is moving all around you. Jesus said, struck me one day, Jesus said that it's possible for his people to be like children in the marketplace. And if you've ever been to another nation where there's a lot of outdoor markets, what you see is children running around while power is moving over their heads. People are exchanging money and buying goods and doing things. But the children are in the marketplace. They're playing in the place of the transaction. They're playing in the place where power is shifting. I want to say to you, power is shifting. Power is moving. Power is not always in the same place. It moves from generation to generation. It moves from city to city. It moves over time. This thing here that I put in a book that I wrote is an incredible statement by Albert Einstein. The significant problems that we face cannot be solved at the same level that we were at when we created them. Wow. We have to come up to a higher place. We have to come up to a higher place in our thinking, in our mind. So I put my quote under Albert Einstein's just to kind of put me in the same, little league with him. The desire to challenge the status quo is the gateway to revelation. Whenever you want something new, whenever you want to believe for something new, it opens up your mind to revelation. So here's what I believe. I believe that power moves and power shifts. And sometimes we don't know that there are shifting people, shifting events, and shifting times. So here's what I was thinking of when I wrote this book called Power Shifters. Here's how I began it. At the end of World War II, some of you may not know this, Las Vegas was a sleepy little town that had 10,000 people in it. Las Vegas, it had 10,000 people in it. But there was a guy that went down there, Benjamin Siegel. Most of us know him as Bugsy Siegel. He went to Las Vegas, and he was sent there by Meyer Lansky. And what you find out is in 1946, bankrolled on $6 million from the mob, he opened up the Flamingo Hotel. It goes from 10,000 people to now Las Vegas is the 5th most visited destination site in the world. Why? Power shifted. Power moved. Power moved. Power moved. I'm going to get there with you. Not only does power move that way, it also moves when events happen. When people are power shifters. I want you to say out loud, I am a power shifter. You might be a power shifter in your family. No one in your family may have owned a home. No one may have graduated from college. No one may have had a family or a marriage that worked. Somebody has to move that power. Somebody has to move it. Somebody has to shift it. Somebody has to say, I am a power shifter. Wherever you are, I want you to say it to me right now. Type it on here. Say it out loud. Put your hand on yourself and say, I am a power shifter. I'm a power shifter. You can be raised in a home of prejudice and bias. You can be raised in a home of judgmental religiosity. Somebody has to move that. Somebody has to move that. And I declare over you that you are a power shifter. I'm trying to show you how power moves because I want you to think that Detroit, Michigan, the power moved because of a man named Henry Ford. And Detroit became the richest city in America during those times because of one guy, Henry Ford. power moved. The power moved. I want you to think about Rockefeller, who put his stamp on Manhattan, and how the power moved. Bugsy Siegel started it in Vegas. Henry Ford did it, Detroit, Michigan. Rockefeller did it in Manhattan. Power moves when a power shifter shows up in a school, shows up on a job, shows up in a family. You may not be called to the same level. I remember staying in Stanton, the Stanton Hotel right there in South Africa. And outside of it is this huge statue of Nelson Mandela. How many times I've stood there and looked at it and thought about his life. He was a power shifter. There are power shifting people, because you did not come here to spectate. God didn't bring us here to spectate. He brought us here to declare. I declare to you that Jesus is the Son of the living God. This is for someone right here. You're listening to me. Jesus is the Son of the living God who died for you, got up on that third day, and he was the most power-shifting entity the world has ever known. He moved heaven and earth, and now here we are on earth. Here we are on earth talking about shiftings. I'm not going to hold you long tonight, but I want to remind you that I did say some time ago that we are repeating a cycle of the 60s. The reason I say that is because sometimes it's hard to preach a future message to yesterday people. Wow, I just said something. That's how my friend Dr. Jazz says it. I just said something. It's hard to preach a tomorrow message to a yesterday people. And I remember understanding that for my life, sometimes God would give me a word ahead of time, and it didn't always make sense at that moment. And I remember preaching to churches over the last couple years that we were going to repeat the cycles of the 60s because we didn't deal with in the spirit what needed to be dealt with. And the 60s were a prolonged war, a drug culture, racial tension, political troubles on every hand. And because I don't think it was fixed. It wasn't fixed because we never got to the root of it. So I want you to think about this, that the shifting events, Woodstock of the 60s, that was a shifting event. They declared the age of Aquarius. Like a new age, a new time was coming. And 500,000 people attended Woodstock. Some of them, maybe some of you, never recovered from it. Let me talk to you about it. By the time Woodstock happened in 1969, the American troop commitment was over 500,000. It's interesting, watch. 500,000 people at Woodstock. About 550,000 people were involved in the Vietnam War. It was a prolonged war. Think about the damage of this. The assassinations in the 60s. John F. Kennedy assassinated November 22nd, 1963. Malcolm X, February 21st, 1965. Martin Luther King, April 4th, 1968. Bobby Kennedy, June 6th, 1968. Can you think about that? All in a time period because power was moving. Power was shifting. And there was an attack upon our nation, an attack upon the world. I remember standing outside of the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was assassinated, standing and looking up at that room, that balcony where he was shot. I remember walking across the bridge in Selma. I remember standing at the Toledo airport with my mom and my dad, brothers and sister, standing outside and holding on to the fence while my Uncle Wayne went to the Vietnam War. And under protest, my mom never cut my younger brother's hair until my Uncle Wayne came home. He had long hair. She kept shaving mine off. I don't know what that was about, but they kept buzzing my head. But my younger brother's hair just kept growing because that was their sign, their protest to what are we doing. It's a question I have for you because what are we doing? What are we saying? What do we believe? Do you know it was only 1 month before Woodstock. Watch. 1 month before Woodstock, Neil Armstrong put his foot on the moon. Heaven and earth. Power moves. Power shifts. Power shifting events. Power shifting people. Power shifting moments. Now, let me get to the Bible part of this. I hope I'm not losing you. I want to get to the Bible part of this. In the book of Acts, when the Holy Spirit came into that upper room, the power was shifting. Did you hear that? The power was shifting from heaven to earth. Don't get it wrong. Jesus said, the same Spirit, the Bible says, the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead now dwells in you. Jesus said, I want you to go wait in this upper room because I'm about ready to shift the power. I'm about ready to move the power from heaven to earth because here's how this goes. Whatsoever you bind on earth, heaven will agree with. Whatsoever you loose on earth, heaven will agree with. And I want to declare over your life today that whatever is working against you, I want somebody to help me and say, whatever is working against our nation, whatever is working against our generation, whatever is working against the hearts and the minds of people, we bind it up on earth and we declare that the power is moving in our favor. The power is moving in the favor of good people. And we block out the power of evildoers. We block out the power of ungodly people. We block out the power of racism and prejudice. We block out the power of poverty. I declared to you some time ago that there's a generation that is rising in the earth that will move mountains. Things that have been permanent, things that other generations couldn't move, things that other people couldn't do because you have come to the earth for such a time as this, and then time is now. The tipping point is here. The tipping point is here. The other day I was walking with other faith leaders and community leaders and people of goodwill, marching. For those of you that are here in Toledo, you know where Dorr Street is at. We were walking down Dorr Street to make a symbol and a sign, to make our voices heard, to say we will not be silent till we get some things settled. And as we were walking down Dorr Street and I went past Savage Park, my dear friends, the Savage family who have run the MLK Kitchen for 60 years, I guess, and it made me think about the times that we did our Wow Jams there. Some of you were at those Wow Jams. I ran into a guy the other day. This is how old I start feeling. He had an ice cream truck on the east side, and I stopped. I said, "Oh, let me get some ice cream." And he said, "Hey, you're Michael Pitts, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I got a bicycle at one of your Wow Jams." I'm thinking like he's grown and driving an ice cream truck now. I think everybody in town got a bicycle or something from a Wow Jam. And I was walking down the street, looked over and saw Savage Park, City Park, some of you may call it, and thinking about the number of times we were there. Those are shifting events. And I looked on the other side of the road, and there were these little kids. I don't know what their age might be, 4 or 5, something like that. And they were standing there watching us walk down the road. And I thought, like, that's why we're walking. That's why we're walking. We're walking so when they become grown and we tell them about these days, they will go, no way. That didn't happen. Didn't have to, because we're going to eradicate some stuff. When the children of the promise came up out of Egypt and they sent the spies into the land, and most of them came back with a negative report except for Caleb and Joshua. Here's the thing, that Caleb and Joshua had to walk until a generation that did not believe passed away. They died. I want you to hear this now, because I think this is a word. Sometimes you have to walk until doubt dies. We walk by faith, not by sight. We don't always know where we're going or how we're going to get there, but we got to walk by faith, not by sight. I know in these times that we're in, some of you are struggling maybe a little bit because everyone doesn't say things exactly the way that we want them said. Everyone is not parochial in their conversation. Everyone is not Christian in their comments and all of those things. But I do know and I do hear that power is moving. Power moves. Power moves. Power is shifting. It goes from one place to another place. I'm going to take a moment and pray, because things are transferred. Things move. In the Bible, the first hub of the church was Jerusalem. And then the power moved. It moved to Antioch. By the time the New Testament is written, there's only 5 major Christian hubs in the world: Jerusalem, Antioch, Constantinople, Rome, Jerusalem. And the power moves. Power moves. Power moves. Money moves. That's why it's called currency. It's a current. The Bible said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Did you ever see Joseph's life? Joseph said there's 7 years here. It's going to be another 7 years over here. And he was able to move the power and the currency and the money from one season and one place to another place. When the children of the promise came up out of Egypt, they came out, the Bible said, with the silver and the gold, not a feeble one amongst all of their tribes. I'm going to pray this prayer and believe God. And you got to hear me. Those of you that know me for a long time know I don't play with this. I'm going to believe God that power is moving. When power is moving in a season, it's moving everywhere. And I don't want you to be a child in the marketplace. I want you to be able to know that God is moving power. Things are moving. The chessboard is being rearranged in your life, and it may not be comfortable. It may not be easy. Oh, but all things are working together for your good. And I'm going to pray it over you here in one moment. And I do know that there are people right now that know that power is moving in your favor. And I want you to find a way. Grab your phone right here, right now. If you're with me and you understand this word by faith, if you don't understand it by faith, I'm not asking anyone to do anything you don't want to do. But I want you to grab your phone and I want you to text an offering right here and right now, because I think it's when power moves, it's a good thing to stand with people and churches that have been standing and speaking for the right things for a long time. I want you to text to give right there. I want you to use your app to give. Those of you that send it in, you already have all the address because you do that all the time anyway. But I'm asking everyone to do something, because here's what I know. that God moves when we activate our faith. It's not just what God wants, it's what do you have the power to believe. And the power to believe is the greatest power that's in the world today. And when we stand here, and when we come together, and when we believe that power is moving in our favor, God begins to work things out. I'm speaking to someone now, speaking to all of you, and I pray over you that you know that power is shifting in your favor. That all things are working together. It's the word that we get from symphony, symphano. It's a lot of instruments that are playing, but they're playing in the same key. They're playing, some are playing melodies, some are playing harmonies, some are playing bass lines, some are playing soprano lines. But God is the conductor of every instrument in your life, and He's making them all work together. He's making them all sound together in your favor. And I declare it over you. I declare it over you that power is shifting and power is moving in your favor. By the way, those of you that want to grab a hold of this book, Power Shifters, I just talked about a few pages of it today. But I think it's the time for it. I'd like to make sure that you get it. And the easiest way to do that is just go to michaelpitts.com. And you can get it. You can get it there, I believe. And I'm going to make sure that it's there for you. I'm not trying to push any books. I've had these out there for a long time. But now is the time to understand atmospheres, climates, and those kind of things. It's called Power Shifters. And you can get it at michaelpitts.com. I want to tell you that our Every Man Weekend is coming up. We've been very careful here. I want to thank God for Phil and Meredith. What a message did Meredith preach on Sunday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a message. What a timely message. And Phil and Meredith have been leading in such an incredible way. And Phil and the team have been organizing for our Every Man Weekend, which is coming Father's Day weekend. And all throughout that week, you're going to be hearing from some of our network guys, some of our guys around here, some of our pastors and friends, because we want to encourage our men. I want to say to some men right now that might be struggling emotionally, psychologically, or economically because of the times that we're in, I want to declare to you that power is shifting. Power is moving. Be strong. Be safe. We declare it over you. So you're going to get some information on that. I'll show you some more. It's going to be coming up here on the screen here in just a moment. But grab some guys, and if you're a lady, let your sons hear from men. If you're a wife, get your husband involved in it, because a lot of times men don't understand that faith is not just something. It's not feminine in the sense that the church is not just about ladies and children. It takes a little something to serve this God, and it takes a real man to do it. And we're going to be talking to you about it, and you're going to hear, maybe I'll tell you next week about who I'm going to be talking to virtually, and it's going to be an amazing story, and you can't wait to be a part of it. I'm so glad to be coming to you, so glad for you. Thank you. I know we miss each other's faces. We sing each other in different places, but it won't be long. It won't be long. We'll get back together. Maybe right after July 4th. What is the Sunday after July 4th? Isn't that July 5th or something like that? Anyway, maybe we'll try to put something together and get everybody together. We love you. We thank God for you. Power shifting. It's moving in your favor. Shalom. Peace. God bless you.
We can change tomorrow. We can build a brand new world. The children grow and the river flows. It starts with you and me. We can change tomorrow. We can have a brand new start. And faith the key to harmony. and the river